cliches, but here's a man who won't care for cliches. Joe Mercer with his legs out of the saddle there, riding Capricorn Son for Luca Kamani in the colours of Ivan Allen, who of course both has the brilliant Comanche run this year and had Century City, with which Joe won the Cambridgeshire 4 years ago. Well, Lester Piggott, John Oaksey, talked to Joe beforehand and talked to him about his chances.
No, I haven't.
How hopeful are you of proving Leicester wrong?
Well, I mean, obviously Leicester had first choice, and Ivan is a person that Leicester's ridden a lot for, but I was very fortunate back in '82 to pick up a spare ride, trained by Mr. Luca Kamani and owned by Mr. Ivan Allen, and I duly won the Cambridgeshire for them. And I think the ride I've got today is he's a horse who's had a pretty easy sort of season. He seems to be very, very well in himself, likes the fast ground, and I'm very hopeful I'll run very well.
I think he will. He'll run very well indeed. Drawn 13, don't forget, Joe, and feet out of the stirrups at the moment. 50 years young, Jay Mercer. Well, jockeys moving around, getting in position. There's Bold and Beautiful. You see George Duffy's got off. Every little counts. You can win the race by a short head. And Bold and Beautiful is a horse in form, and we can see her in the Hillfields Handicap at Kempton, and in fine form, Bold and Beautiful. Coming to attack, Bold and Beautiful. Coming with different colours, because now been bought by Abdullah. These colours Steve Cawthon rode that day. So coming up on the outside here with the black steeds, driving through Bold and Beautiful. She's a very determined mare, and I think she's going to make a great brood mare, but she might well win the Cambridgeshire on the way, because she slaughtered away from them that time. Once Steve really asked her, she came through. You want a horse who can finish in the Cambridgeshire. She certainly showed she could do that, and she's going to be finishing very strongly today. Bold and Beautiful, George Duffield's ride, and she's coming out of stall 27. She's over on the far side. Don't forget, it looks as if the fast pace will come from that far side, and therefore it may be that the ones on this side will be slightly disfavoured. It's a very dangerous business laying down the law about the relative merits of the draw before the Cambridgeshire, I can tell you. That's Leonidas with the spots. Tom Forrester is the grey. Fish and Chips going through there with Lester Piggott. Here's Immortal Dancer with Walter Swinburne. At the back, Starter trying to call them together. And there is Tromblong. Well, we've seen him in tremendous form this year. And let's look at him in the Electro Copy Ubix Handicap at Doncaster, when ridden by Willie Carson this time. You can see what sort of a horse he is. He attacks with the noseband there. He attacks all the way, Tromblong, and he really does fight all the time, and that's the sort of horse you need to win these big handicaps, to try and win 3 such big ones as the Victoria Cup, the Bunbury Cup, and the Cambridgeshire in the same season, particularly as the other two are over 7 furlongs, is asking an enormous amount. But he is a very tough, consistent horse. I was talking to Ron Smythe, his trainer, this morning, and he says you're going to get a very big run out of him, and he doesn't mind his draw. He's drawn over on the far side, 21. He says he wants to, he can come across. Take some time for them to trail round. More news from John.
Tromblong now out to 16 to 1 from 12 to 1. Not wanted Tromblong. The office is sending money still in for this favourite Fish and Chips. Ladbrokes, Mecca are backing it, but the bookmakers at last are standing up against it. They tried to bring it into 4 to 1. It's now back out to 9 to 2. The bookmakers have had enough of Fish and Chips and say, well, if you want to take this price, good luck to you. What would you prefer to back, Fish and Chips or Stalker in the last race? Admittedly, Stalker's won, that helps. But what a difference it is in the price. Leading Star, Her Majesty, clear second favourite now, 11 to 1, and very tight Immortal Dancer at 12 to 1. It's 14 to 1 bar, but at last bookmakers have realised that Fish and Chips is an absurd price. They're standing it 9 to 2 the field.
Yes, he's short. Here's another tough horse, Immortal Dancer. He's been running over 1.25 miles, not like Leading Star. We've run an awful lot more over 1.25 miles. We can see him in the Variety Club day at Sandown when he went clear. He did get caught in the end, but goodness, he did run.
2 out, the favourite goes for home. It's Immortal Dancer in the lead. From Imperial being second, Indian Hal has been held up for a late run trying to get the trip, but we're just over 1 to race. It's Immortal Dancer who strode out fluently down at the start and striding out fluently up the head of the leader, some 2 to 3 lengths from Imperial Bid. Revel Starkey, who's closing. Imperial Bid on the favourite Immortal Dancer. Immortal Dancer from Imperial Bid. Immortal Dancer, Imperial Bid is going to be close at the line. It's desperately close. Immortal Dancer just from Imperial Bid.
Well, in fact, he did just get touched off, but you see what a tough performer he is. The stout team, very hopeful this could be the start of a big double with Chernazar, and he's likely to run very, very well, Immortal Dancer. He's drawn 8 this side, close to leading Star and Fish and Chips. So the watcher really has to work quite hard in this race. You've got to really concentrate before the race starts to try and pick your horse through. Immortal Dancer, ridden by Walter Swinburne. Judy Grange just started trying to shoo some of them round. There's Leicester and Fish and Chips. Well, he looked a really smashing horse last week. Last Saturday at Ascot, Aljabert led him. Long way clear Aljabert was, but Leicester was always biding his time. They'd gone very fast and he sluiced through. One poor run this year was in soft ground, but he certainly hasn't got soft ground here. Incidentally, a stalk around the Jim Crack in 112, the middle park at 112.1, which is well understood, a very fast time, and they're likely to do a very fast time in the Cambridgeshire, I'm telling you. More betting from John Tyrrell.
Fish and Chips now the 4-to-1 favourite. Leading Star and Capricorn Son. Immortal Dancer and King's Head all at 12-to-1. Bold and Beautiful out to 16-to-1, open up at 12s. Tromblong also a 16-to-1 chance. Kafuma 20-to-1 from 16s and 25-to-1 Bardos.
I tell you, I've had a little bet on Well Covered here. A horse who won on Monday is in form. People tend to get just carried away by the 4 main favourites. What's one saying is that Fish and Chips and Leading Star and things are just be too good for the bottom weights. But when you're giving lots of weight away to quite decent horses who are in form, weight does anchor anything, and it just might anchor some of these. There's Bold and Beautiful and Indian Sign, and here's John.
Still more money for Fish and Chips. 4-to-1 clear favourite now. Outstanding. Ladbrokes are backing it. Her Majesty's Leading Star. Hills are in for that. 11-to-1 with Immortal Dancer. It's 14 bar the 3. That brings in King's Head and Capricorn Son. Tromblong's a 16-to-1 chance. But it's Road 4-to-1 this. Fish and Chips. Thank goodness I'm not on at that price.
Well, those last 2 on the right and the last 2 to go in, they're both tricky in the stalls. Bold and Beautiful and Indian Sign. You can hear Judy Grange calling out 3 to go. Leonidas is also a bit tricky. He comes out pretty fast, though, I can tell you, and he's drawn 28. So the thing to look for when they fire is to see whether they divide, as we think they probably will, and if so, whether that far side will actually leave them. And watch for Leicester from stall 6. Cambridge are coming up. Commentator John Penny at the start.
Thank you, Ralph. Just waiting for Bold and Beautiful, the last of the 31 to be installed. And they're on starters' orders, and they're off. And they come out to a pretty level break and showing good early speed as they start to settle down. Is Scrummage, Qualitaire Fire, and then comes Well Covered, Scout's Mistake. And so running through the first furlong, Scrummage, one of the leaders from Leonidas on the far side. Then comes Come On the Blues, just in behind them Tom Forrester. Then comes Indian Sign, Kalari Bay. They've run very nearly the first 2 furlongs. Leonidas, the leader from Come On the Blues, and just in behind them Indian Sign. Indian Sign is then followed by Tom Forrester and Kalari Bay. Then there's a gap back on the far side to Bold and Beautiful. On the near side is Trying to Stop Me, Scrummage and Vintage Toll, and then just in behind them comes Wild Hope, and towards the rear of the field as they pass the 6 markers, Leading Star, Immortal Dancer and Milk Heart. And so they're split into 2 groups. Leonidas at the head of affairs on the far side. So as they now start to run towards the 5 marker, Leonidas just about still in the lead, back to ground.
Split into 2 groups, and on the far side the overall leader then. On the far side, Aljabert, Kafuma racing up there too. Also coming with a run, Come On the Blues, Leonidas bang there. But the stand side now beginning to make good ground. Scrummage has done her work, but still just has it from Virgin Isle. The favourite right on the stands rail, Fish and Chips, makes good ground. Just over 2.5 to race. Scrummage still the leader from Fish and Chips and Virgin Isle on the near side. On the far side, it's Kalari Bay. Also up with the pace is Indian Sign in the white jacket. 2 out. An Indian Sign on the far side from Come On the Blues. Finishing strongly on the far side is Tromblong with a pink cap. On the near side is Fish and Chips, who leads from Capricorn Son and Scrummage, and they've got 1 furlong left to race. And Tromblong is the overall leader on the far side. Tromblong in the pink cap from Bold and Beautiful. Finishing very strongly is Kafuma. Capricorn Son and Fish and Chips won't win. They're on the stand side. Tromblong's going to win it at the post. Tromblong is the winner. Kafuma